Breakfast was cold, but the tea was hot. Book 1, Eragon. Chapter 9, Strangers in Carvahall. Welcome to Eragon and Back Again, a podcast where we explore Christopher Paolini's inheritance cycle, one chapter at a time. I'm Darien Smartt.
And I'm Lucy Hart.
And oh, things get real!
Things get so real! Ooh, it's happening!
It's happening! Exactly what we were talking about in the last chapter. It's happening!
Yep, it's happening!
But first, Luce, I had an idea.
Yes.
Just a thing, a good segue, a good conversation starter, if you will. Something to allow us to explore more, because our approach to revisiting the inheritance cycle is finding writing tips and mechanics.
Absolutely.
But writing is not a purely mechanical craft.
Nope.
It's an art. And the thing is like inspiration. So I propose that we, at the top of this episode, share something we've encountered recently, be it a piece of medium or an activity or a memory or an experience that gives us that spark of inspiration, that thing that makes you want to create.
Yeah. So, I love that.
Yeah?
I think that's yes, let's do that.
So, should I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I would like to bring to the table the board game Flamecraft.
Ooh.
This is a very, very charming, very like cozy competitive board game in which you are playing as dragons.
Yes!
So very, very thematic for the Eragon books,
Absolutely.
of course. But you are dragons and you essentially have this little village that's full of dragons, and you go to each little shop in the village and you can do things to improve the shop. And you
Very
gather
good.
resources that let you cast bigger spells to get more shops, to
I
grant
love
more
it.
magic. And you win by having the highest reputation, which is just labeled as little hearts. And it just means how well you're liked in the village,
Oh, I
how
love
much
it.
good you've done for your community.
I love it.
And it's competitive, yeah, but it was so cozy and so fun. And of course, I played with my girlfriend at a board game convention recently. So all good vibes. But the nature of that comfort coziness, that's something I want to strive to bring into my writing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because I'm trying to branch into writing cozy mysteries.
Yeah.
So that could be it. But I would like to offer Flamecraft. It's lovely and adorable. And Kelsey bought it and she said we could play it. So
Yes! I want to play so bad.
I think you will love this. And not just because dragons. Also because Animal Crossing. It also has Animal Crossing vibes.
A little column A, a little column B.
Little column A, little column
That's
B.
great. I love that.
Yay.
Yay! Mine was actually I didn't bring my phone in with me, so that's a
You
problem.
sent it to me.
Yeah, I did send it to you.
Not me.
I was basically scrolling through Facebook videos as one does, and came across an artist who drew and or painted, but in the description it's I painted the same painting in 1 hour, 10 hours, and 100 hours.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah. And so, they go by Nerdforge on Facebook. If that is her, I know how people like to repost stuff.
Repost.
So maybe I can dig deeper and we can include that in like a link.
Yeah,
or
we'll
something.
put that in the show notes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Nerdforge, but yeah, it was incredible to see. Like, obviously, like it's going to be a very, very big difference between 1 hour, 10 hours, and 100 hours. Like, there's just going to be a difference. And watching, like, it was really cool to see like what they did in an hour and then what they did in 10 hours. But then the 100-hour one is what made my like heart swell.
Yeah.
Because it was so cool of like watching like this is what they had in their minds. Like this was the final product, but to like kind of watch it grow to that point was just so inspiring. And then the final piece being a knight knelt at the base of a tree with all these other swords, and the knight has their sword in the ground with all the other swords. And it was like you could almost like come up with a story of that, or just some, and it made me want to write something that touching.
Yeah,
it wanted me
that
to conjure
feeling.
that feeling of like both awe and sorrow and a little bit of hope, because there was like light shining through the tree branches, and I feel like that is a symbol of hope a little bit. And so it just like made me be like, I want to write that so bad. Like, write a fan fiction from this picture.
Yeah.
Like,
what is that called?
so
That's
good.
called a thing. That's a type of art form.
Yeah.
A phrasis.
A phrasis?
It's called a phrasis. It's the thing in which you write something, a poem, a story, whatever, based on usually traditionally a painting, obviously, but any sort of visual medium.
Any visual. I like that. Yeah. No, but it was just really, really, really cool. If anyone else has seen that video, like, it's y'all can probably relate. It was so cool. But for anyone else, like, definitely recommend just checking it out if you can find it.
Yeah, we'll have the link in the show notes for you.
Yeah. So definitely give that a try.
Awesome. Well, I think with that inspiration in our hearts,
yes,
let's talk about Crisis.
Yeah.
Oh no! Let me bring out the chapter summaries.
Yes.
The day of Rowan's departure arrives. Eragon escorts Rowan into town to meet his new employer at the smithy. There, Horst warns Eragon that he needs to get rid of that mysterious blue stone because a couple of unsettling strangers have come to town asking about it. Eragon investigates the situation and comes upon the strangers just in time to hear Sloane tell them all about that incident some months prior. The strangers spot Eragon, and though he tries to run, a mysterious force holds him in place. Brom arrives just in time to rescue Eragon and send him home. As they part ways, Eragon loses his glove, and Brom catches sight of the silver mark on Eragon's palm.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun! Oh.
I almost said what it was. I'm like, nope.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Lucy,
Not
nope.
yet.
Yeah, this chapter is when it just you start to feel the plot, like someone's like hitting the gas and you're starting to pick up pace as you're getting on the highway.
It really
and you're like,
does.
Oh no, here we go.
It kind of felt like we were the prologue was like full on sprinting, and then the first chapter goes back to like walking, and then gradually we've just been speeding up, and Strangers in Carvahall is when we are we're in that like weird phase of walking to running. It's like that weird starting, but 100% it definitely has that feeling of, oh shit, something's happening, and it's just so cool.
And it's so interesting. So and the tone shift of this one chapter, because it starts so somber, and it's like Roran is leaving, Eragon still is like throwing a tantrum about it, kind of. Well, I think he's gone from more just like this like icy resignation.
Yeah.
Like he and Roran still haven't spoken about it.
Yep.
And then Garrow in this chapter is just so...
I literally, I highlighted his whole speech because I do think it's so incredible. And I do like how, like, they're saying bye, and like you mentioned, like, oh, am I taking anything?
No, you're good.
Yeah. So Garrow and Rowan are saying goodbye, and Eragon is basically like being the broody teen in the background, basically. And I really like how they're like, oh, do you have everything? Yes. And then he gives them money, and he's like, I don't need this. And he's like, just spend it on something.
Take it.
Just
He's
take
like,
the money.
Don't take your money. Before you get into the speech, I want to mention he like, it's only Eragon going with Rowan. Like they asked Garrow to come with them, but when pressed for he's refused. But when pressed for a reason, he only said that it was the best.
Yep.
And it's just like we've been focused so much on like Eragon doesn't want Rowan to leave. Obviously, Garrow is sad. He's like happy that the family's growing. This is like good for his son.
Yeah.
Like he's at a place that Eragon isn't, where he can be like, this is for the best and I'm happy for you, son. While simultaneously being like, I can't walk you to there. I can't.
Yeah.
You have to. If there wasn't Eragon there, I believe Garrow would have gone with him.
100%.
But he's got Eragon to see him off. And so he's like, nope,
he's
I'm
like,
gonna cry. I cannot cry in front of my son. Cannot cry in front of my sons.
Can't do it.
It's
really good. I just like, and I was leading up to like, what I really like is Garrow saying, do what you will, it is yours, said Garrow. I have nothing else to give you except a father's blessing. Take it if you wish, but it is worth little. Rowan's voice was thick with emotion. It would be an honor to receive it. And like that is so good.
So good.
It's so good because it's like, again, like we've talked about how gruff Garrow is and this and the other, but like you can also see like Garrow's relationship with Rowan is nothing but love. There is nothing but love there. So much. And he's just like, and he like Garrow is like this gruff, like, you can take my blessing, but it's worth nothing. And Rowan's like, are you kidding me? I would love
I think it's more like he's just like, he's having these moments where he's like gives Rowan a little bit of money, and he's like probably wishing he had more to send his son off of. And it's like, if I had more, my son wouldn't have to leave to make money before he can ask the woman he loves to marry him. And he's probably like, if I could give him more, he could just ask her to wed him now. And they could start, like, shouldn't have to be this. So he's at a moment where he maybe feels like he didn't do enough for his son. So he's like, all I can offer is my blessing, and it's worth little. And Rowan's like, I would be honored to receive it. Sorry, not that tone. That sounded very Valley Girl. But
like,
no,
same,
for real.
Yeah.
But yeah, but his speech, which, also, Garrow kissed him on the forehead. We love to see emotional displays of affection from fathers to sons.
Absolutely.
Always good.
Yep. Get that toxic masculinity out of here. Like,
bros,
freaking
kiss your dads on the forehead.
Yeah, like, that's so good. And it's also, like, again, like, kind of like just a little bit about, like, that is, like, Garrow is tough and gruff, but he is not afraid to show affection for his son and Eragon. So, 100%.
It's more just, like, he's not someone who believes in showing, like, quote, unquote, frivolous affection.
Yeah.
But he's not just, I think Garrow is not he's not a father figure who did not give his sons love.
Absolutely.
They knew they were loved and cared for.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
And I also love, he's like about to give this, like, important dad speech. And he's like, oh, do not think I have forgotten you, Eragon. I have words for both of you.
Yep.
It's like 3 paragraphs. I feel like we can't read the whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, we could. It's our podcast. Yeah. Lucy, do you want to just read the whole? Do you want to take turns? Yeah.
Yeah. I can read the first one?
Yeah.
I don't know how your book does it, but mine does a paragraph break. Yeah. So I'll do the first one.
Unless you want to do the whole thing.
No, you can do that.
Okay.
We can share this.
Okay.
So I'll do the first one. You can take the last one. So first, let no one rule your mind or body. Take special care that your thoughts remain unfettered. One may be a free man and yet be bound tighter than a slave. Give men your ear, but not your heart. Show respect for those in power, but don't follow them blindly. Judge with logic and reason, but comment not.
Consider none your superior, whether their rank or station in life. Treat all fairly, or they will seek revenge. Be careful with your money. Hold fast to your beliefs, and others will listen. Of the affairs of love, my only advice is to be honest. That's your most powerful tool to unlock a heart or gain forgiveness. That is all I have to say.
And I love how it ends with, he seemed slightly self-conscious of his speech. Because I do like it because, again, it just goes with his character where he's not one for, like, he's not Rom, where he goes on and on and on with his words. He's very to the point.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like, lead into each point with an explanation. He's literally like, be careful of your money. Don't give people your loyalty. Like, you just, like, list them off. And I do really like that.
Yeah. I like that a lot. And also, he's probably like, they're probably like, this is the most that we've ever heard Garrow speak in one segment.
What? Yep.
This is, wow, we got 2 back-to-back paragraphs.
Yep, absolutely.
It is, listen, all good advice.
Oh, it's
I have
really
no qualms
good.
against single advice.
No, it's really good. And I also think, like, this is a point, I think it's really important too, because it's for both Rowan and Eragon. And I think it's an important thing because it's like Eragon is stepping, quote, into manhood, end quote. And Rowan is taking the next step in manhood. Yeah. So, like, Rowan is taking this job to get married, whereas Eragon is 15.
Beginning it to enter this
and
status.
So I think, like, I think this is really important for Garrow because he's, like, his, basically, sons are growing up. And so he's like, okay, now feels right to give this speech to both of them.
I need to give you needed this. This is the most important advice that I have learned in all my years. Yep. I loved of the affairs of love. My only advice is to be honest. And I was about to say something. We'll just remember that. I'm just going to remember that was the advice that Garrow gave regarding affairs of love. And we'll just circle back to that later, I think.
You know what I started to do? Yeah. So I started to highlight, like, blue stuff in what we're talking about. And then I'm highlighting stuff in purple of, like, later.
That's such a good idea. That's such a good idea, Luce.
I'm like, yeah, so it's like, I'm like, okay, well, I'll highlight that in purple at some point. Yeah, no, I really do like that speech. And I do like how he ends it. That is all I have to say.
That's it.
It's like, all right.
And that's it. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And thusly.
And thusly, yep.
No, it's good. And then they leave. And that's it. And Rowan and Eragon don't talk much.
No.
They, like, are still, there's that, like, weight of, like, that barrier of silence remains.
And it's like, we can't
them.
forget either that the last chapter ended with Eragon watching Rowan
put the rock away.
Put the rock away. And so that's probably, like, Rowan doesn't know that he did that.
Yeah.
So Rowan's like, oh, Eragon's still upset I'm leaving. But that's like, Eragon is upset he's leaving, but also
leaving
upset
him behind.
Specifically. And so, And so that's probably really upsetting.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to read just one before we go into, like, when they actually get to Carvahall.
Yeah.
What I really, really like, and I feel like this is a little bit of foreshadowing that we don't know about yet, but again, like, we feel like we're getting up to something, but, like, knowing the book as we know, I'm like, for me, I'm like, this was a really big foreshadowing moment almost. Eragon looked back and surveyed the land. His eyes lingered on the lone buildings. They looked pitifully small and fragile. A thin finger of smoke trailing up from the house was the only proof that the snowbound farm was inhabited. And Rowan says, there is our whole world.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's just like, it's an interesting perspective. Not getting into the whole foreshadowing bit.
But I think it is percent because we know what kind of book we're reading. We're reading an adventure book. We're sensing that things are about to pop off.
Absolutely.
And so it is that moment of the hero looking and perceiving what their world is. So I think it's fine to acknowledge that, yes, this is clearly foreshadowing.
And I do, like, the thing is like, looking at it, and, like, we can go more into depth with that in, like, the next couple chapters. I think we all have a moment where we take a step back and we observe, like, the house we grew up in, or, like, maybe the city we grew up in, or the town we grew up in, and we realize just how small it really is.
Yeah.
And it's almost like hit with the weight of the world, like, oh my gosh, like, we are so small. Like, we are so small. And I feel like this is a really good impact of that, especially probably more for Rowan. Rowan probably feels it a little more than Eragon, because Rowan is the one that makes, like, that's our whole world. Like, build these small, fragile looking buildings.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, I really like that moment of just, what's the word?
Reflection?
Reflection, that's it. I really, really like that.
I like to. And I do like what Eragon says as a response. Eragon shivered impatiently and grumbled. A good one, too.
Yep.
And he grumbles, he's impatient, but the fact that he's like, he described it as like, oh, it's like, it looked pitiful and small, but he still describes it as a good world.
Yep.
So whilst Eragon we've clocked as someone who, like, wants grander things, insofar that he wants, like, the adventure of, like, the dragon riders and magic, it is not, at least what we can perceive here, it is not born of a resentment or a discontentment of his home. Like, he is happy in his home and he is happy with his world.
Yep.
That does not necessarily mean that he doesn't want more or that it is wrong for him to want more. And I think it's refreshing to see a character who because sometimes you like, okay, we'll talk about it again. Christopher Pauline, obviously this book's just Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Dragon Rise of Pern, Wizards of Earthsea. Like, it's a lot of inspiration pulled from different places.
Yep.
Shout out to I think it was Dylan or Dalton, one of our friends I was talking with this the other night, who remarked on, like, wow, these are, like, he was the 15-year-old writing this. And then when we cited all the different things it was, like, clearly inspired by, they remarked, yeah, but, like, a well-read 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't reading all of that. So, but insofar, like, so comparing, like, Lord of the Rings, you have a character who loves their home and is happy with it, Bilbo Baggins.
Yep.
No desire to leave and go on adventure.
Yes.
You have Star Wars, you have a character who doesn't care for their home. Luke Skywalker wants to get off Tatooine, wants to go on grand adventure.
Yeah.
And so it is delightful to see a character who is genuinely happy in their home and wants to go off on adventure.
Yes.
It does not necessarily have to be a resistance of change. Well, change, we talked about. Change. A resistance of going off and seeing more in the world doesn't have to be born from a discontentment of their home, nor does a character who likes their home have to automatically be resistant to adventure.
Absolutely.
Like, I like that Eragon is both, and I think in other circumstances, maybe perhaps Eragon would have become a trader. Maybe once Katrina came back and they had more people on the farm, is more stable, maybe he would have gone off and is like, well, I would like to take what I have in it, because he wants to go and see. But I think Eragon would have been someone who would have come back home
100%.
to visit and see his family.
Like, I can even see him, like, maybe, like, the next year or two, like, when the traders come in for winter, leaving with them.
Yeah.
And being like, all right, I'll see you next winter kind of thing.
I think
100%.
Yeah, that would have been, like, I think, he could have, I think Eragon, if this was just a normal, if this happened to someone, this magical story didn't happen to Eragon, I think he would have remained someone who was happy.
Yeah.
With his world. It didn't have to change for him to find happiness. And I like that in a way.
I really do too.
I like the idea of the character wasn't have to, like, this he would have been miserable and trapped under the stairs forever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just like it.
No,
So
I'm
glad
I
we
really do
stopped to
too.
talk about
It is that moment of, but kind of just like what you said, it's a good change of pace of someone being like, I can't wait to leave. Only like blah 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 or blah blah blah. And no, it's nice to have that, like, this is my home, and it will always be my home.
Yeah,
I do like that.
And then they get to town. And this Denton dude, the miller, that nice guy,
so nice,
real nice guy.
He's
Offers
really
Eragon
kind.
a job.
Yeah, he's like, I would get you, but I don't have that much work.
Yeah, I just need the one. So yeah,
and I think that's like so. I think that's really kind of him too, and it just kind of shows Dempton's character of just being super chill, like super chill. And obviously, like, us as readers interacting with this character for the first time, it's like, oh, he's 100% gonna treat Rowan great. Like,
we don't have to worry about Rowan.
No,
like, he's
not
gonna,
at all.
He's
Like,
not gonna get ripped off. He's not gonna get cheated. He's gonna make the money he was promised. And he'll be able to come home. He's not gonna get trapped there.
Yep, it's good. He's gonna be really good.
And then, oh no, and then Horse is like, hey, Eragon, can I talk to you outside for like a second, just a real quick second? Hey, don't worry. Hey man, you got that weird rock? You need to throw it in a river. Like,
you need to get rid of that ASAP.
Like, there were how does he describe the strangers here?
I have it highlighted.
Do you want to read it? Yeah.
Yeah. 2 men arrived here yesterday. Strange fellows dressed in black and carrying swords. It made my skin crawl just to look at them. Last evening, they started asking people if a stone like yours had been found. They're at it again today.
Like what he adds, no one with any sense said anything.
Yep.
They know trouble when they see it. But I can name a few people who will talk.
And we know one of them.
We know exactly who will talk.
100%.
Because not a lot of people know about the stone. It's not like they maybe, 4 people in town know about the stone. I
think it probably was a rumor, because I feel like people in that town might not necessarily know. Not a lot happens, so they probably just like, oh, this weird thing happened.
Yeah,
and it's just
they heard about.
Oh, Eragon just found a weird rock. Yeah, and like that's probably all it was.
Some people probably clocked Eragon and Garrow going to the jeweler. Yeah, like, what are they going?
It's like, oh, you know what?
I did rumor that they found something. Eragon, did Eragon, or maybe even with the herd, like, did Eragon find something in the spine that a jeweler would want?
Yeah.
So I think there's probably enough like rumor that there's at least a story that people are telling to entertain themselves. But I like the idea of like, no one's going to talk to these guys because they can tell their trouble.
Oh, 100%.
But we know someone who will.
Yep.
And that Eragon starts to panic. He's like, oh my gosh, whoever sent the stone to the spine finally found it. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. The egg is gone. It's impossible for them to find it now, but if they know what it was, it'll be obvious what happened.
Yep.
Saphira might be in danger. And it is so important that is where his thoughts go. He's like logically trying to be like, okay, I don't have it anymore, so it's not like I can give it to them. And if they know what, oh god, Saphira. Like, he is so worried about Saphira.
Yep.
Like, that is his primary, like, that is his most important thing. In fact, it's more important. Saphira is more important to Eragon than anything else. Because he leaves then. Yep. He leaves to go.
And I think, like, that's... oh, sorry. Did I interrupt? I didn't want to. Go ahead.
I was going to finish the
go
thing.
Ahead,
I think you were probably on the same page. But, like, because he goes back in. He, like, wished he could tell Horst about Saphira. Like, to be like, here's what the deal is. So he, like, hurried back to Roran. Eragon clasped his cousin's arm and bade him farewell. Aren't you going to stay a while? Roran said with surprise. Eragon almost laughed. For some reason, this question struck him as funny. There's nothing for me to do, and I'm not going to stand around until you go. Well, said Rowan doubtfully, I guess this is the last time we'll see each other for a few months. Except I bet Rowan thought Eragon would hang out with him until he left.
Yep.
I bet he was totally expecting him just to hang out.
Yep.
And maybe he's like, maybe we'll talk then. We'll say goodbye. Like, but no. And he's not even like being like rude. I think Eragon is like trying to make up a reason as to why he's leaving. He's like, there's nothing for me to do. What am I going to do? Bye. It'd be weird if I stayed. It's way weirder that you're leaving.
Yep.
But Saphira is the most important. More important to Eragon than even Rowan now.
Yeah. And
not necessarily that, but kind of that.
No, it is a little bit that, but I think like the difference between him rushing off, I do think the difference is Rowan is not in trouble. Rowan is not in danger.
Yes,
like, Rowan
that's true.
is...
We literally just sitting him off with a guy who seems like a solid dude.
Super nice guy. So it's like, Rowan's fine. And he will be fine. And Eragon knows that. And then that's what I think, like, this whole time Eragon's been like, you're gonna be gone until spring? Oh my god. And then he says, I'm sure it won't seem that long. And then it goes, take care and come back soon. He hugged Rowan and then left. Yeah. And I think, like, you have a good point where I do think that Rowan was wanting Eragon to stay longer.
Yeah.
And so they could talk, or he was expecting
be
more
with him until
time.
he left. Yeah.
And then he just left, and Rowan's like, oh, okay, like, all right, like, I'll see you later, kind of thing. And yeah.
It is so wild. And then Eragon dips out. He knows Horst is watching him, so he pretends like he's leaving town. Then he doubles back through the alley to try to figure out, like,
sneak.
What's, yeah.
I'm like, I would be so mad if I was Horst if I knew.
Yeah.
I'd be like, dude, I just told you to leave.
He kept searching, and then he overhears a conversation. And hears someone say, when did this happen?
You literally, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I was just thinking about how they did it in the book, and you said it almost exactly as how the dude reads it in the book. Oh, sorry, Vivi. No, that was really cool. Anyway, sorry, continue.
No, thank you. Oh, the words were smooth. I was trying to go smooth like oiled glass.
And you
and
nailed
seemed to
it.
warm their way into the air. Underlying the speech was a strange hiss that made his scalp prickle. And then it's Sloane. Fucking Sloane's like, about 3 months ago. Then another voice spoke. This was deep and moist. It conjured up the image of creeping decay, mold, and other things best left untouched. I'm not gonna try that one. But basically, it's very clearly Sloane is telling these strangers exactly about the stone and Eragon. You know, oh, does he still have it? I'm sure he had it then. I'm not lying. Plenty of people know. Go ask them. They have been rather uncooperative.
Yep.
And he's like, oh my god. They're like, oh, your information is helpful. We will not forget you. Eragon believed them. And it's interesting. It's like, yeah, but in what way will they not forget you?
Exactly. It has that, like, sense of, like, foreboding 100%.
Do you have the passage where they're actually, like, described? Do you want to?
Yeah.
This is, like, some wild, yeah.
Yeah. He peered around the corner to see what was happening. 2 tall men stood in the street. Both were dressed in long black cloaks that were lifted by sheaths poking past their legs. On their shirts were insignias, intricately wrought with silver thread. Hoods shaded their faces, and their hands were covered by gloves. Their backs were oddly humped, as though their clothes were stuffed with padding.
It's that last sentence that just, like, your brain just goes, no.
Yeah.
What? Who's pretending to be a person? Who's pretending to be human here?
Yeah, it's a weird, like, I can't remember what I thought when I first read this, but it definitely gave that eerie vibe of, like, what do they have under there?
Yeah.
Like, is that like weird packs? But, like, I feel like if they had packs, it would be outside of their cloaks, not inside of their cloaks. So it's like, what is happening?
What are they hiding?
Yeah, like, what is going on here? And they're covered from head to toe.
Gloves, hoods,
nothing is
visible. And then, you know, they spot Eragon instantly, like, he can't move.
Yep.
And they're coming to him, their hands grasping at their swords. Then all of a sudden, Eragon! And it's Brom! Hurry to him from the side.
Yep.
Head bare and staff in hand.
Yep.
The strangers just head off and
yep.
He's like, oh, hey. He's like, Eragon's just like, I got dizzy all of a sudden. It's past. It was very odd. I don't know why it happened. You'll recover, said Brom. But perhaps it's better if you went home.
Yep.
Yes, I have to get home. Have to get there before they do. And then he's like, I'll walk you out of the town.
Yeah.
He's like, so, why are you looking for me? Simple curiosity. I learned you were in town and wondered if you had remembered the name of that traitor. Traitor? What's he talking about?
Yep.
My note just says, not subtle.
Not subtle at all.
He's like, no. Oh.
He said, and then amended himself. I'm afraid I still don't remember. I honestly don't think he knows. He remembers even at that. What? He's like, traitor, no, I don't remember. What is he talking about?
Eragon!
No. Eragon, no. I mean, a lot has happened. To give him credit. A lot has happened between then and now.
Eragon!
But also, yeah.
So it's been 2 weeks.
Yep.
That's so funny. So they get to the road. He's like, oh, Brom said, hasten home. I don't think it would be a good idea to tarry on the way. He offered a gnarled hand. How old is Brom?
Yeah, just like...
Just a we know he's old because of the silver hair and stuff, but it's just like and long beard, but like gnarled hand just really increases the age.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Eragon shook it, but as soon as he let go, something in Brom's hand caught on his mitt and pulled it off. It fell to the ground. The old man picked it up. Clumsy of me, he apologized and handed it back. As Eragon took the mitt, Brom's strong fingers wrapped around his wrist and twisted sharply. His palm briefly faced upward, revealing the silvery mark. Brom's eyes glinted, but he let Eragon yank his hand back and jam it into the mitt. Goodbye, Eragon forced out, perturbed, and hurried down the rope. Behind him, he heard Brom whistling a merry tune. She's like, Brum, what the fuck?
It's like, Brum,
what the fuck?
It's like, what was that?
That was
What
wild.
was that? Yeah.
That was wild and aggressive, Brum. What was that? I mean, we know what was that.
We know what that was.
But in the moment, it's just reading it for what it is. What the hell was that?
Yeah, yep. And it's like, I think I can say this without doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was like he knew.
Yeah, he
was
knew
there.
what to look for.
And
it's
like,
pretty obvious.
Yeah, because I love the, like, something in Brom's hand caught on his mitt and pulled it off. I'm like,
sure, something. Not his gnarled fingers.
Not his gnarled fingers or something. Like,
it's Brom whistling a merry tune.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
It's like, what is happening? Like, what just, like,
tune?
I think we're with Eragon and, like, what just happened?
It's the merry tune. I think if Brom was just in silence watching him, it would have been like one thing, but the merry tune is just a wild juxtaposition of what just happened.
What just happened. Yep, I agree.
Also, it just notes that, like, Eragon's been hiding the mark from Rowan and Garrow for months.
Yep.
But I guess I don't know how bright, because this is the mark that he got when he first touched Saphira.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been well explained. It's just a silvery mark. You don't really know how big it is, what shape it is. So whether or not it's even something he, like, easy to, like, whether he's even been trying to, like, actually hide it.
Yeah.
Or just not anything no one's noticed.
Yeah, I think we get that in, like, the morning after Eragon gets the mark, where he is working in the farm, and I think it's something along the lines of, like, it was actually really easy to cover it up.
Oh, probably,
and
yeah.
So
that sounds familiar.
So then he just stopped worrying about it.
Yeah.
And so it's also cold, so he's like, I'm just gonna wear mitts all the time, and that's not gonna be weird.
Yeah, it's not like they're washing their hands vigorously all the time while singing Happy Birthday twice.
Exactly. And so I really think, like, Eragon probably honestly forgot about it, because he's been just doing farm work, and that's, like, really messy work, so he's probably covered up, and then whenever he has to go outside, he puts his mitts on, so it's always covered. So I do think, like, he just stopped worrying about it, and this was like, oh shit.
Oh, like, what was that about? But yeah, but that's the chapter end.
Yep.
And it's not a lot. It's just the pieces that have been set up on the board are, like, being moved forward.
Yes, absolutely. Like, stuff is happening, and it does leave us on a slight tense moment, like, because it's like, oh, these strangers have this weird power that froze Eragon in place, and he couldn't move.
Yeah.
And Brom rescued him, and so it's like, oh, and then he's like, I gotta get home before they go to my house.
Yeah.
And so it's like this almost sense of urgency and tension.
Gotta go.
Yep.
I want to talk briefly about how these mysterious figures showing up is almost surprising, because if you had asked me to guess, well, obviously someone is looking for the stone, the egg.
Yep.
Who do you think is gonna show up in Carvahall looking for it?
Yeah.
I probably would have guessed the Shade or some Urgles, right?
Yeah.
Like, that would be, but it's interesting because we see, like, oh, so it leaves the question, like, do they work for the Shade? Like, are they sent ahead? Are they minions? Are they higher up in the Shade? Or are they someone else completely who's also is their mysterious, like, second party looking for the egg we don't know about? So it adds more layers of, like, oh, like, we don't recognize, as the reader who got to see the secrets in the prologue, we don't recognize them.
Yep.
So it's telling us, the reader, that we obviously don't have a full scope of what's going on, but we really, that what we perceived as, like, big deal, because we knew it was important and we knew people were looking for the jump. It's cluing us into the fact that we really have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, we only got a small part, and it's like this introduction is like, things are a lot bigger than we thought, than we assumed, or anything like that. So yeah, I like that.
Oh, Luce, what writing tips do we take away?
So something that I was just thinking of is the slow burn. I think that's good, because it's like, I've known somebody who was like, get to the point.
Yeah.
And it's also like, in some situations and in some writers, like, that's perfectly fine. But I think, like, don't be afraid to do the slow burn.
Yeah.
Like, to the slow burn till the climactic, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. That word that I
Climax.
can't say at them. Thank you. I was like, for some reason, my brain does not like that word right now. So no, yeah, I think, like, it's okay. It's okay. And I do think there is probably a limit. You don't want to, like, slow burn. Because as much as I love Howl's Moving Castle, the book, it's such a slow burn, and then everything happens in, like, 2 chapters, and it is a bit of, like, a whoa, kind of like a whiplash almost.
Yeah. Was it Diane Jones? Who's the author?
I can't remember.
Oh yeah, Diana Wynne Jones. I mean, I've only read the 3 books that were in the Howl's Moving Castle, like, They're all like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, inciting incident, nothing happened. And then everything wraps up all at once.
Yeah.
And you're like, what was that?
Yeah, and it's like, because like I really did enjoy the Howl's Moving Castle book. Like that's the only one I read. I really
Best
did
one.
like it, and it was like, for me, I was almost expecting the conflict to last longer, but it does get wrapped up in like 2 or 3 pages, I feel.
Yeah,
and so it was very quick.
I think that was like, again, like I think that maybe like her style, and
yeah,
it definitely was like all of a sudden it was like, oh, she was a witch. I thought your jealousy would keep her out. Wow, you look young again. I love you too. And I'm like, these are 3 chapters. These are Diane. Hey, Diana. These are 3 chapters. I really would have liked to hang out a little bit more and know. I would have liked to know 3 chapters ago that Hal knew that she was under a curse. And that okay, that's fine. Yeah, no, I agree. I think so. One of my, like a writing storyteller tip that I really like and have latched onto is from Michael Schur, who's the creator of The Good Place, among other great things.
Yeah.
But on the Good Place, the podcast, he did an interview where he talked about how one of the big strengths of the show and something he'd learned as a storyteller is that a good way to really drive the plot forward is to take whatever you think your finale was going to be and just do that sooner. Like build to that, make it make sense.
Yeah.
But if you, as soon as you're in the place where you can do that, do
it.
that. It's like mild spoilers for the first season of The Good Place. It is about a woman. She has died. She's gone to the good place. Yay, hooray. Except there was a mistake. She's not supposed to be there. She was actually a pretty terrible person. Not like a murderer.
Yeah.
But like just a not kind person.
Yeah.
Just very selfish, very unkind to those around her person. So you expect, oh my gosh, the finale of this is all of like her trying to hide the whole time and like things getting worse and chaotic around her, but her learning to be a good person in death and things like that. And you're like, oh, but I bet the finale of this like season 1 is going to be them finding out she's not. No, that's like maybe 4 or 5 episodes in.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the mid-season finale is her and her just being the one to admit I'm not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And the show just does that a lot and gets to that point. But I would say not everything has to be that way.
Yeah.
That it is important to have this, like, you're absolutely right, Lucy, the slow burn, the build up, the space, the living in the moment. Like, I think there's actually a balancing act for both. It's like, don't rush to those big beats, but don't hesitate to get to them either.
Yeah.
Don't drag things out just to pad for time.
Absolutely.
If you know where you're gonna get, go to it.
Mm-hmm.
But take the time to make that make sense, because that couldn't have been a thing she did in the second episode. Like, that would have been nonsense.
Nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have had the same impact.
Exactly. It wouldn't have had the same impact because it would have meant nothing. Because she does that to protect her friends, those around her.
Yep.
Because she's worried about them.
Yep.
And that's not
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think like with this is so far as we've spent so much time. It's like maybe not even a fourth of the book in yet, but it's like we've spent so much time with Eragon and his normalcy and his and it's like, yes, it's a little like he finds an egg and it's really cool when he gets the dragon, but it's still also normal.
Yeah. He's
still doing his farm work. He's going to town. He's talking to the storyteller. Like, there's still all this normalcy. And it's like if this had happened like in the second chapter, he finds the egg, comes home, tries to sell it, doesn't work out, and then the strangers arrived. I feel like
the same impact.
We wouldn't have the same impact.
We don't love Saphira at that point.
We don't love Saphira, and we also don't have an appreciation for Eragon
or his world, or what
this
this threat isn't just to Eragon and Saphira. We recognize it's a threat to Garrow, it's a threat to Roran and Horst and Christina and everyone. Not Christina. What is Katrina?
Katrina, there you go.
And Sloane. Yeah. Good. Here's the thing, motherfucker. Sorry, try not to swear on this one that badly, but for real. You have, I don't believe in capital punishment, but I do believe in vigilante justice. And I believe Sloane is a bootlicker who turned on his community.
Oh, 100%.
Cannot be trusted. You have things coming to you, sir.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think like that's the thing, like we're getting to the point where like, oh, something is finally happening, where it's like, stuff like the tension is building, because it's always kind of been in the background. With the prologue.
Like we talked about, we forgot forgot.
Yeah, we forgot about it, and then it gets brought back
Here
in.
it is.
But it's like, here it is, and it's like, oh crap, yeah, like, oh shit,
Mhm.
kind of thing. Like, it's happening again.
Mhm.
And at this point, it's almost amplified because it's like, we don't know who these strangers are.
Mhm.
They're all in black. Like, that's weird.
They have some
They're
power.
They
yeah.
have weird power, and they also they're concealing something.
Yeah,
It's
they're
something.
hiding. The padding under their clothing is like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's really, so it's like getting there. And it's also, but it's like, I also think like, well, it took a while to get there. It's not like we're sitting there tapping our watches. Like, get there, get there, get there.
It took a while, but
Yeah.
I would say, I think you're right. This was slow burn
It was
at a
slow burn.
reasonable pace that when it is time
Yep.
to hit the point, we hit it. And I
Yep.
think this is the balance of learning the difference between a slow burn and padding for time.
Yeah.
And I do not think Paolini was padding for time. I
Oh,
think
yeah,
we were
no,
in a slow burn and it worked very
It works
well.
really well. He did, and we keep going back to it. Paolini does just such a good job.
This is good. I'm
Just
enjoying
such a
myself.
good job.
Yeah. Hey, it's like we like these books and are
Yeah.
excited to be revisiting them as adults with a critical eye.
Yep. I
Awesome.
love it. It's so good.
Yeah. Well, listeners, thank you again for joining us for another episode.
Thank you.
What do you think? What are some good examples of series that either have a good slow burn or know when to like hit the big plot points? And what's one that you remember being like, we are padding for time. Why did this happen? We'd love to hear it.
Hit us back.
Mm-hmm.
Hit us up at Eragon Pod
Yeah, on Instagram.
on Instagram, please.
And until next time, she's Lucy Hart.
And she's Darien Smartt.
And this was Eragon.
And back again.